In one of my earlier videos, I had recorded some educational teacher tools specifically that assisted me once I returned to work after a year of working from home when the pandemic hit. Also in that video, I had explained what had happened to me in June of 2021 when I had thyroid surgery. They had to cut into my neck, and I thought they were just going to remove the one nodule. But when I came to, they told me that they had to remove 1/2 of the entire thyroid. 5 days later, I get a text from the surgeon saying it's a good thing they did because I had a micropapillary carcinoma. So it was a teeny tiny contained cancer. And because of that, I'm on Cancer Watch. However, what I wasn't expecting was to have a whole bunch of post-surgery health effects that affected me in such a way that it basically changed the way that I not only work, but how I write. So the first thing I noticed was that my voice is no longer the same. My breathing is no longer the same. I don't really have the capacity to have a full breath. And my voice, talking during that time, my voice would basically drop dead. Well, let me put it this way. My voice would basically be gone after 2 hours of lecturing in a classroom. So because I was having so much trouble breathing and I had to go back to work, we had to wear the masks, but I couldn't breathe. So in that video, I showed how I used a mask spacer or a mask frame to frame around my mouth and my nose so the mask isn't doing this. I'm not doing that all the time. The voice, I ended up getting a voice amplifier, like a little microphone that I would wear around my neck, and I would have an attached amplifier device to turn it on, and that way I wasn't straining my voice. So, but the most enigmatic thing that occurred after my surgery, well, first of all, when they were prepping me, they told me they were going to put an IV in one arm, or in this case, my hand, because they can't find the veins for the life of me because they're so teeny tiny. But they also mentioned something called an A line or an artery line. And what I was told, and I don't know if anyone else has gone through this, if you're having surgery from the upper chest and up, you have to have an A line, because anything that is around or above the heart, they need to be able to monitor it. So they told me that I would be given an A line, but they would inject me with one. I'm sorry, they would put one in my other arm once I was asleep. I was like, okay, because if I was awake, I would have been screaming my head off. Almost 15 years ago, I had a major heart scare, and I was at the ER for almost 4 hours, and they couldn't find the vein in my arm, so they had to take it from my wrist. When I screamed, it was not human. Let me just put it that way. So I was like, okay, as long as I'm asleep when you... And when I came to, luckily, thank goodness, this surgery that I had was an in and out patient. So it wasn't an overnight or anything. Thank goodness for that. But when I came to, the A-line tube was still attached to my wrist. They would not take it out until I was fully dressed, and then they removed it. And I figured, okay, when I get home, I might be able to color a little bit. I might be able to write. And then I started to notice my hand would just drop dead. Like it couldn't grip the pen or anything. So I would try to write, and then my fingers would suddenly lose their grip, and I would create like little curlicues across the page. And it seemed to continue like that for the next few months. to the point where my next health issue basically took over everything else, and I didn't really have time to focus on this anymore. But I cannot tell you how much I struggled because this is my dominant hand. I am right-handed. If I would have known, they probably should have put the A-line in the left one and put the IV in the right. Who knows? But since then, I have not been able to write. So between getting 2 different kinds of physical hand therapy, seeing a hand specialist, an orthopedist, and they found out after an ultrasound that I had 2 blocked nerve tunnels. They've kind of gone down a little bit, but there's still a bunch of stuff going on. So recently I had a hand MRI, and what it basically showed is I'm on my way to developing carpal tunnel in my right wrist. I'm like, thank you very much. But that's not really bothering me. They did say that I have a teeny tiny cyst somewhere inside the wrist. I already had surgery on my wrist before in 2008 to remove a marble size one. But this one is tiny. That is not what's really bothering me, I told them. And yes, I do have some tears along the tendons here, but again, that's not what's bothering me. What's bothering me is I can't grip a pen. And what's weird is that I don't remember how I used to hold a pen. I don't remember my thumb wrapping around like this, and then when I try to keep it in place, it would slowly go up, and then like that. So, last year, I ended up getting a couple of tools from this online e-special services assistive tools website, which I thought would help. Not really, because they didn't really have a good, I tried them, but they were not really sufficient. So I literally just started my hand occupational therapy, and she had me do a writing test, but she had me use different types of pens, and one of these pens was a weighted pen that I had never seen before. So I was like, okay, I might want to check that one out. So I went back to Amazon and I bought that same pen. It came in a packet of 2, but then I found another one that was called a ring grip. I think that's what it's called. And recently I was talking to my disability case specialist and vocational specialist, and she mentioned something called ergonomic and having an ergonomic workstation. Because of my 3 ongoing, well, actually now 4 disability health issues right now, between not being able to write, my plantar fasciitis, my hip issues right now, but the most damaging is my vertigo and my dizzy spells. I never know when they're going to hit. So we've been trying to figure out what is triggering these attacks. But I'm just going to focus on what I found best for writing tools. And this is for anyone else who is starting to have difficulty writing. Here's what I would recommend for these assistive tools here. So let's go to them. I'm just going to show you guys what was happening a lot more. I love handwriting, but I also highlighted where I made a mistake. So let me just pull this up a little bit. So you see this little highlight here? I was basically let's see, Whoopi Goldberg. Oh yeah, so these are some quotes from from one of the books that I just finished by Whoopi Goldberg. And as I was making the B and I made the E, I circled it, and then that's what happens. The pen, basically, I lose the grip of the pen. And I'll show you a couple more where I made some more of those mistakes. The entire time that I was handwriting this, I had to grip my hands like this the entire time, and I could feel the tension in my wrist and the tendon, and it is just so exceedingly painful when that happens. There were a few others. If I can find them. Let me see. Come on. Yeah, so here, for instance, same thing. I'm pointing to this one right here. So I was making, so like the word looking, L, there's the O, and then There's that curly Q here. Again, anytime when I would have to make a, make a circle, or I would just start off like this, and it would loosen its grip, and I would make a mistake. And because I have to sign my name, like for instance, when I had a home, I had to sign a lot of forms, and I was so afraid of making a mistake. And I have journals where every page is highlighted because of all those mistakes. And that was for almost an entire year's worth of writing. So when I moved back home, I ended in that video, I have these two separate tools here. This is an egg, a type of egg, and it's like a squishy, it's like a squishy, I think it's called the egg, the grip, or the egg grip or something. I know it goes by another name. So let me just show you how it's supposed to work. I know this is pink, but let me do a little practice. So this is how it would work. But as you can see, I'm really pressing my fingers into the egg, and I don't really have a good grip. So that was one option. The other one is called the writing claw. Now I can't really use this because I'm wearing these nails, but your thumb would go here, your index finger would go here, and your middle finger would go here, and your fingers would basically lock in place like this. But as you can see, I'm still using, there's not really a good grip. So here's what I ended up buying from Amazon first. And it's this tool here called the ring pen. I thought it said it's called Ringo Tools. And there's that word, ergonomic design. And I forgot what ergonomic means, but like it's sort of like tools that are like, as an example, there's an ergonomic keyboard. So instead of being straight like this, it's curved. There's even keyboards that are completely separated in two, so your hands can type like this rather than typing like this. So this is how this thing works. So it came with a pen. Here's what it looks like. And you can either slip the pen inside, or you can, I don't really want to do this with these nails, but you can open it, place the pen inside where you think it's a good grip, and you slip your fingers in like this, and you should be able to write. This might be a little too forward for me, so let's make this a little bit more compact here. Let's just do a little test. It has a pretty good grip. I did notice that my finger is curling. My index finger is curling. It never used to do that. And my thumb still kind of does this whenever I write, but at least this time the pen is in the same place, and my middle finger, instead of going up and down like this, it's staying in one place. The other pen I got is the weighted pen, and it's called a Thixotropic, and it comes in two. This is another purchase from Amazon. This is what it looks like. And this thing right here is a type of weight around the bottom part of the pen. You can actually hang this around your neck, so this way you don't have to go looking for a pen. So let's just do a little experiment. It's almost there. It kind of has a good grip. There's like, because it's how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. This is a hexagonal shaped weight around the pen that gives it a good grounding so that the pen doesn't, I don't lose the grip. So I'm going to try these tools out, and but I definitely, if you're still having trouble writing, you might want to take a trial run with these brands. So once again, it's called the Ring Pen Ultra, and this is Thixotropic. And I will have those posted below.